You ever come home to find a hotel where your house used to be? Yeah, welcome to my nightmare. I left for 6 months to help family, and while I was gone, the HOA built a 3-story lodge smack on my land. Not just any land either. My wife's ashes were buried right under where they poured that shiny new foundation. I'll never forget the HOA president Linda handing me a trespassing notice for my own house. Her lips curled in this little smirk like she was offering a birthday card. You should have answered your mail, she told me. That's how they played it, like I'd just wandered off and left the door open. But you know the devil's in the paperwork, and my wife, God bless Maggie, left me the one document that would turn their hotel into my own little justice bomb. And they had no idea. You believe in property rights. Stick around because I'm about to walk you through how an HOA empire collapsed, piece by glorious piece. Oh, and tell me where you're watching from, will you? Might as well make this a group therapy session. So let's back up. 6 months away, I come rolling down the county road. Everything feels off. Trees are thinner. The old split rail fence is gone, replaced by this vinyl monstrosity you only see in gated suburbs. There's a fancy banner, The Preserve at Jensen Lake. Yeah, that's my name. I pulled down what's left of my gravel drive, except now it's a service road busy with cement trucks and drywall guys. Where my shop and the big pine tree used to stand, there's a half-built hotel windows already in balconies facing my lake. My lake. The one Maggie used to watch the sunrise over. It's like waking up in someone else's life. I walk up to a construction worker guy about my age, tired face. Hey, what's going on here? This is my land. He just shrugs. HOA bought it, said it was abandoned. Lady named Linda runs it. Abandoned. That word lands like a sucker punch. I didn't abandon anything. I buried my brother-in-law came back, and now my entire world is gone. I look for the property markers. Steel posts my grandfather set in concrete 60 years ago. Bulldozed. The ground's churned up, nothing left but mud and tire tracks. I walk toward the lake just out of habit, and my stomach drops. The big pine's gone, just a stump left. That was Maggie's tree. We picked that spot together, carved her name in stone, and that's where I laid her ashes. Now it's just raw earth buried under a concrete slab. I'm not proud of what happened next. I drove straight to Linda's house, hands shaking, ready to start a war. She opened the door like she'd been waiting all week, smile painted on coffee in hand. Tom, we heard you were coming back. Welcome to the new preserve. I barely kept my voice level. There's a hotel on my property. She just sipped her coffee, pity in her eyes, but victory in her voice. We sent you certified letters, Tom. You didn't respond, so we filed an adverse possession claim. County says the land was abandoned. It's all legal. You should have answered your mail. It wasn't a mistake they wanted me gone. I left without another word and drove straight to the county records office. The clerk pulled my file manila folder stuffed with new documents, zoning variances, plat filings, permits. And at the bottom, Linda's signature on the transfer. Notarized by her cousin Carol. The kind of small-town scam that makes your skin crawl. I could have screamed. Instead, I filed a property dispute by the book just to see how many more rules they'd break. Next morning, the sheriff shows up, all of 25, acting like he's defusing a bomb. Mr. Jensen, you're trespassing. This parcel's designated community commons now. The HOA says you're harassing the workers. He hands me a cheap photocopy of a map, my name erased, replaced by a corporate LLC. He's not happy about it, but the law's a piece of paper to him. That afternoon, Linda emails the whole neighborhood, calls me an absentee owner, claims I'm disrupting a project that'll raise property values for everyone. Suddenly, neighbors are driving by, slow, staring at me like I'm a squatter. Not everyone buys it, though. Rick Dalton, a plumber I know from the hardware store, drops by with burgers. She told everyone you sold the land, said you moved away for good. It hits like a gut punch. She didn't just forge papers, she forged the story of my life. After Rick left, I took a walk to burn off steam, ended up in the old shed behind the property, the only thing left standing. Under a tarp, I found the old deed box. Inside, original survey maps, family papers, and thank you, Maggie, a thick leather-bound portfolio, Jensen Family Land Trust. Signed, notarized, bulletproof. 5 years back, Maggie made us set up a trust so nothing could touch the land, not creditors, not lawsuits, not even me screwing up. Guess what? The HOA filed their whole land grab against me as an individual. They never noticed the trust owns everything. For the first time, I felt hope. I called Dale Morrison, the best surveyor in 3 counties guy we called Digger in the service. Dale, I've got a boundary problem. He grunted, said to bring coffee and meet him after midnight. We snuck around in the dark, laying out old maps, searching for the original markers. 4 hours later, Dale's metal detector squealed and he dug up the original southwest pin. He ran a surveyor's ribbon straight across the property. It cut the new hotel right in half. 80% of the building sitting on trust land. But a survey wasn't enough. Rick gave me a tip about a city inspector, Nina Torres, who hated HOA games. I met her behind a grocery store, handed her the trust papers and Dale's survey. She studied them, face hardening. Linda got this permit by pushing through a variance for a community shed. There was never a public hearing for a hotel. It's fraud, pure and simple. She scribbled down the file number for the original application, said to compare it with the current permit. I let Linda keep building, let her think she'd won. She even hired a wannabe cop security guard to patrol the site. Glared at me every time he passed. Then came the cease and desist, let her fancy lawyer talk threats of legal action if I set foot on my own land. That's when I moved. I went to the city records department, handed over my trustee documents, Dale's survey, the real deed. The permit is invalid, I told the clerk. 10 minutes later, a big red suspended stamp hit the permit. Next morning, the construction site was dead silent. No trucks, no hammers. Linda went ballistic, emailed everyone about an unstable individual disrupting their dream. She called an emergency HOA meeting live streamed for transparency. Perfect. The place was packed, everyone tense. Linda, in full spin mode, waved her papers, declared me a disgruntled former owner. I walked up front, handed Nina, the inspector, my documents. She read them at the mic. The permit is suspended pending a full review. Mr. Jensen is the legal trustee. You could hear the oxygen leave the room. Linda tried to pivot, threatened to sue me for lost revenue, didn't matter. Her power was gone and the board knew it. But see, I wasn't just the trustee. I'd bought out the retiring partner at the private lending firm that financed the hotel. I owned their mortgage, their debt. On paper, I owned that building twice over. Linda didn't know it yet, so she staged one last show, an investor gala, big white tent, champagne string, quartet, the works. I let her give her speech, then walked in calm as you please. Security tried to stop me, but I walked right up, handed Linda the eviction notice. As the trustee of the Jensen Family Land Trust, you have 30 days to vacate. She tried to laugh it off, but I dropped the mortgage transfer next. And I own your loan. Miss a payment, and I foreclose. This whole thing becomes mine. She melted down, threw her champagne glass, nailed her own vice president with it. The crowd started whispering, phones came out. The HOA empire cracked in front of everyone. Still, Linda wasn't done. She broke into my shed in the middle of the night trying to steal the original trust documents. What she didn't know, Rick's wildlife camera caught her red-handed, crowbar and all. I handed the video to the sheriff next day. Linda got marched out of her own house in cuffs, neighbors watching from their porches. Her mugshot hit the news before dinner. The HOA board imploded and the neighborhood finally stood up, voted out the whole regime, dissolved the board, and passed new rules so this can never happen again. I took back my land, planted a new white pine where Maggie's tree once stood, and turned the hotel into a workshop and housing for veterans' real community, not some HOA fantasy. They tried to steal my home, but all they built was their own undoing. So here's my question for you. What does justice look like in your world? Is it paperwork Or is it standing your ground when no one else will drop your thoughts in the comments? And if you've ever been bullied by an HOA, share your story. Let's make sure none of us ever fight alone again.